Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of A Healthy Dose of Fran. Today, the Avatar returns in a character study that I've been looking forward to doing for so long. Today I'm talking about one of the greatest villains in Avatar history, Azula, Princess of the Fire Nation, and how the creators of Avatar created the perfect villain. Now I know, big statement there saying that Azula is the most perfect villain in Avatar, but considering especially in Avatar The Last Airbender, the other villains that we are introduced to, Hama, Ozai, Zhao, other than possibly Hama, Azula is the only one that we feel an actual threat from. Not only is she a commanding presence, but she also had the most interesting introduction to the series. Now, Azula's introduction as a threatening character started with her very first opening introduction in Book 2, Episode 1, where she is taking command of a ship to go and bring in her uncle and Zuko. Now, just from this scene alone, we see a young 14-year-old girl take command and control of a ship run by trained soldiers and someone who is, I assume, maybe a general or admiral of that ship, and become a threatening presence both physically, mentally and emotionally when addressing these people. Now, just from this introduction alone, we, the audience, feel a sense of trepidation and fear about her character because she has such a commanding presence. Both she and the people around her know that she holds all the cards, that she is the epitome of power over these adults. Now, the fact that she is 14 I will be bringing up on a regular basis in this video because as a 14-year-old child she is able to do a lot more and be a lot more imposing than most generals in the Fire Nation army. She was able to infiltrate and take over Ba Sing Se, the most impenetrable city in the world, whereas Iroh in 600 days wasn't able to do that with an entire army at his steed. But she was able to do it in a matter of days, possibly weeks, at 14. Now this, I believe, is from the fact that she grew up as a prodigy child. She was praised only ever by her father for the fact that she was perfect in near every way, but because of this praise and the fact she only ever received this praise from her father and was scolded only ever by her mother, she latched on to Ozai and his praise, believing that praise and reaching these unnatural expectations that Ozai put onto her was the only way she could receive love. And after their mother left and Zuko was banished, she was stuck with Ozai alone for 3 years, living under his ideals of the Fire Nation is the best nation in the world, that perfection is the only way to win, fear and power are everything. And this is what led to the most amazing downfall for a villain, and this is seen in the beach episode where Azula creates an experiment to see if her being the princess is the only reason why she has people in her life. Azula's experiment is based around the fact that two boys invite Ty and May to a party and leave her and her brother out, not realising who they are. And as said by Azula later on, that she is intrigued to see how people will treat her and Zuko when not knowing they are royalty. Now, we could take that at face value as that being the only experiment of that night, but to me and many others, it could also be an example of her trying to understand if the people around her, like Ty, May and even Zuko, if they would actually be with her and around her if she weren't the princess. Now, we know that Azula has always been a different child, never been particularly in touch with her emotions, because of how she was raised by Ozai. Power and fear, that is the only way to live. Emotions cause problems. That's just the way it is. So it was strange and interesting to see how she tried to work through these throughout the night. The fact that she was misunderstanding social communications, such as turning up at dusk when it was only an expression, making Tylee cry and trying to figure out how to comfort her and explain that she is jealous and confused because she doesn't understand how to express herself in the way that she wants to, or even if she doesn't want to, she just feels like she needs to. And then having herself rejected by those around her, such as the boy that she kisses after she shows her true colours. Her experiment is proven true to herself. People do not want to be around her when she is herself if she isn't royalty. Move on to later in the night at the beach itself, when the others are sharing these emotionally heart-wrenching stories. Azula doesn't understand, whether it be from the fact that she just doesn't understand emotions as a whole due to how she was raised, or that she considers them to be a manipulation of sorts. Azula, as we know, is a great manipulator, and she uses emotions and the thoughts and feelings of others to her advantage. So when she calls their discussions a performance, this is just, in my mind, another way of her considering what other people are doing the same as what she does. But of course we do end up having a very heart-wrenching moment from her also, where she says what she believes her mother thought of her, and that is that she was a monster. And honestly, that line in and of itself is the most heartbreaking line ever heard from Azula, because not only does she know that her mother thought she was a monster, but Azula believes that she is a monster. And I think that really shows how much of a powerful character she is, because as a villain, she not only has this emotional diversity, this backstory that is so well developed and so well written, that it shows the way in which her change to become Azula, the most threatening and terrifying person in the Avatar universe, to the gang, to Zuko, to pretty much anyone, started because of the way in which she was raised. Her mother considered her a monster. Her father wanted her to be perfect in every single way. And when she wasn't, she was rejected by him. She had to be perfect. Perfect equals success. Failure is her fault alone. Azula, to me, is the embodiment of the prodigy child. Not only was she only ever praised by Ozai when showing off her skills and her abilities, but when she failed, as it's mentioned in various different throwaway lines, that she would be punished for it. Not to the extent that Zuko was, but Zuko to her was the example of what would happen if she didn't continue to strive for greatness. And we even see this happen in the finales for Avatar, when it comes to light that Azula in fact failed to bring in Zuko to kill the Avatar. Her father turns his back on her. He refuses to let her come with him to destroy the Earth Kingdom. And this is the nail in the proverbial coffin for Azula's psyche. She is desperate for her father's love and approval, and in her mind his praise of her is that love. So to be rejected by him, to be left behind by him because he finally has what he wants, and that is power, he no longer needs her, but she so desperately needs him. And that's how she became the most perfect villain. Now, I know that this video hasn't really kind of been that much talking about how she is the most perfect villain, but I think the fact that there is so much about her character, the fact that she is so well rounded, so well created and so well developed in comparison to near all the other villains, especially in Avatar The Last Airbender. But Azula, I think out of even all of them, is the greatest villain because of how she was created, how she was perceived, and I think everything that I've talked about here, the fact that she was raised in a militaristic environment, in a royal family, being raised by just one parent really to believe in his ideals, the fact that she was the prodigy child, and as it's shown in research, and if I can find the links I'll put them down below, children who are raised with high expectations are damaged more often than not because they continue to have those high expectations, and if they fail, the world ends for them. And I think that's what happened with Azula, and I think that's what makes her the most perfect villain, because her perfection is her downfall, and I think that is the most amazing thing in an Avatar villain and in a villain in general. And that's why, to me, Azula is the most perfect villain. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me that Azula was the best villain in Avatar, or maybe even in villain history? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, what else about Azula's character did you guys like? What villain did you prefer the most? Let me know in the comments also. Now, I absolutely loved making this video, and I can't wait to do more Avatar stuff. So a heads up to all of you guys that I will actually be doing a full month's worth of Avatar character studies in June of this year. So if you guys want to know when those are out, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when those videos will be out. But if you want to watch them before anyone else, in the description box down below is the link to my Patreon. But on Patreon, you can get early access to any and all of my videos before anyone else for just $1 or $2. Now, I do mention this because I don't make any money from making these videos. I do all of this on my own time, so any support that you guys can give me would be highly, highly appreciated. But in general, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. As mentioned, in the description box down below are the links to the Tumblr posts that helped me with this video, as well as the link to my Instagram. Here on YouTube, if you guys aren't subscribed, go to the button down below or click the one popping up here on screen. If you want to check out one of my previous Avatar videos, the playlist will be popping up here, and then something else for you guys will be popping up for you here. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.